Hi all. This reading is for March the 4th, 2019. It is for any and all signs, for the collective, really. Two of Wands is what we came up with on the bottom of the deck to start after shuffling and meditating with the deck. About the day, the moon is, I'm almost positive, still in Aquarius. And we have the Knight of Cups reversed. Someone questioning their self-worth is what I'm feeling coming from this card immediately. For some, specifically questioning their self-worth because of someone else's actions, as a direct result of someone else's actions, someone lying to you, someone betraying you, someone manipulating you, and maybe even themselves, and it may only be registering with you on a subconscious level that entertaining this person's antics is actually causing you to question your self-worth. But for others of us, it's in different ways. You may be questioning your self-worth in a specific area of life, in your work, in what you're able to provide for your family, or maybe just in general for some. As I said, I do believe the moon's still in Aquarius. The Chariot card, again, I feel like this was what was crossing us in yesterday's reading as well. So a message for someone who is questioning their worth, is maybe dealing with someone who's encouraging them to question their worth in some way, again, directly or otherwise, but still trying to move forward with confidence. So really a positive sense of faking it till you make it is coming through with this day. Maybe that's the position that a lot of you are finding yourselves in, that you aren't really sure if you have what it takes to get through this project that's highlighted today, but you have to push on, you have to push forward, you have to have a lot of energy and at least feign a lot of confidence. And maybe for some of you it's not feigning. For some of you, it's that you have confidence in yourself in certain areas and not in others. And so you can just sort of pull that confident energy from the areas where you do have it, and again, fake it till you make it in other areas. If anything, it looks like your emotional and or romantic life is what is a little out of alignment. It seemingly there is some dishonesty in it, whether it's you lying to yourself about your own worth, someone else lying to you and that causing you to question your worth, you lying to someone else. And it may be a matter of no one intending to lie to anyone else, but when we deceive ourselves, and we are more skilled at doing that than anyone else is, then we can incidentally then lie to someone else in turn, right? If we're not even sure what we're worth, if we're not even sure what we want, who we want to be, etc. I get the feeling though that it's you dealing with someone else who isn't sure what they're worth, and so then maybe that's making you question your own. But especially when the Knight of Cups shows up for me, that type of manipulation comes through. But also, you're turning your back on that. You're taking all of your power, your practical mind, your emotional power, and focusing that intellect and that emotion all toward a goal that you do want to reach. You must feel that you are worthy of on some level at some times, even if on certain days, like maybe today, you question that. In the root of the situation, we have the Eight of Wands. It's, again, crazy. I just had this for someone else. I just had this in one of the Pisces readings. It's strange for me. I'm getting this feeling that like these readings for the last few days. Like these readings are all blending together. I'm recording them pretty close together, but I'm shuffling this deck that I'm using, that my Radiant Rider-Waite, very well in between readings. I shuffle obsessively, like almost like a compulsion. I'll sit with it and just shuffle it while I'm doing other things, really. And still here we are with a lot of the same cards falling in the same places. So that's interesting for me. But it looks like a lot of progress was expedited. A lot of progress was made very quickly concerning, again, the project that's highlighted on this particular day for you. And I say that, but well, I do think progress was in the root of the situation here. I do think progress was picked up, was made quickly, and that's led you to this place currently where your foot has been on the gas pedal for a minute, and you've been making a lot of progress, and you're suddenly stopping and saying, wait, do I know enough to keep going? Am I worthy of succeeding in this way? Am I the person to do this thing that I'm wanting to do? And you're answering your own question. You're going to answer your own question with yes. You know, just keep moving. Don't let anybody or anything stop you, whomever may be distracting you from the goal, or again, causing you to question whether or not you are the right person to complete that goal, to give yourself this that you're aiming for. It may be, some of you may be waiting around to hear from someone, and in the beginning of your interaction with them, or even the beginning of this day, whenever it applies, there was a lot of communication. There was a lot of conversation with this person, not just progress, but progress directly because there was a lot of communication, right? And now that your plans for the rest of the day are supposed to actually play out, you can't get a hold of them. Or now that the relationship has actually evolved into something more, now it's starting to seem like maybe they were just manipulating you because now you haven't heard from them. But I say this, I talk about the project highlighted on this day, quote, as if this is specifically applicable to March 4th. And that is what the reading is for, is March 4th. And as I said, it's for any and all signs. But it time being fluid, it could apply, it could be a message for any of the coming days, right? And for some of you, it will cover just one day. For others, a broader time period. In the recent past, you have the Nine of Wands. So at some point, after there was a lot of progress made and or a lot of communication had regarding this area of concern for you, you realized at some point that you were sort of waiting on nothing, that this person wasn't going to resurface, this person wasn't going to communicate, or if it's a project more so that you're focused on than a relationship, that no one was coming to your rescue, right? No one was coming to help, no one was coming to offer you the advice, the expertise, the instruction that you might have been feeling like you needed if you were questioning whether or not you were worthy of completing this project or having this thing, this person, meeting this goal in a satisfactory way for yourself. Whatever help you needed wasn't on its way. I think you realized that it was time to stop waiting on someone else, that either this was entirely yours to complete on your own, whether you deem yourself worthy on a daily basis or not. And that's often how these things work, right? Many days we know we're doing the right thing, we're on our path, we know how capable we are, and then there'll be days sprinkled in there where for one reason or another, whether you're inclined to depressive bouts, technically, medically speaking or not, that onsets in some way for every person at certain points in their life. And there will be then days, right, where you question, is this for me? Is this my path? Am I good enough for this? Whatever it may be, whomever it may be that you're focusing on. Again, covering the reading is this question of one's own worth. And if it does feel like it's encouraged by someone else, I will say that's all that you can give them credit for. They can inspire those thoughts within you. They can encourage those negative thoughts of questioning yourself within you, right? But they can't truly cause them. You cannot say someone else made you feel a certain way. You can say it, but it doesn't behoove you because it's not true, right? You can only allow someone else to make you feel a certain way. I'm sorry if that's frustrating for some of you, but to answer that with any sort of but they said this or they did that is really just fighting yourself. You're not really fighting me. You're just doing a disservice to yourself. It's on some level it is technically adopting a victim mentality. You're wanting someone else to be responsible for your pain, but truly, if you're feeling that way, you're the only person who can change it, and you're the only person who could have allowed anything or anybody, any event, any failure, any mistake, any mistreatment from someone else to be translated into you as that feeling. You can always reject that feeling, accept the message coming through, and reject to adopt the belief that it suggests for you, right? And that's all that this needs to be. It's just a day where you questioned your own worth for some reason or another, maybe inspired by someone else, yes. And then, as I said, you answer your own question and say, no, I'm not going to adopt that belief. I'm not going to allow that to stop my progress, because I see that progress continuing, and again, in a confident, energetic way, where you take your strengths and your weaknesses, your faults and flaws, and also your any shortcomings, but also your skills and those things that you're best at, and your practical side and your emotional side, and you hone it all. You zone it all in on one focus. You aim it all at one focus, direct it, all of that energy there, right? That's what I see you doing today. For those that this message is for, you are done waiting on outside help. Even if there was a lot of progress and a lot of communication at the beginning of the day or at the beginning of the situation, you're done waiting for that communication, that help, that progress to continue. You see that it's only going to continue on your own energy, on your own dime, in your own time, in your own way, with your own motivation, right? You have to drive yourself. You are driving that chariot there. You may be dealing with a Cancer energy in particular. Likely that it's Cancer energy in your own chart, if this message is for you, can be where a lot of this insecurity and questioning of one's worth is coming from, or it may be a Cancer outside of yourself who is questioning their own worth, and as I said earlier, subsequently those insecurities are translating into not getting a hold of you, not progressing things with you, and then that makes you question yourself and the relationship, if that's what it is. But in any case, you're done waiting, which means for some of you, that being done waiting means you're going to get a hold of that person. You're going to ask another authority or expertise, or someone who's an expert on whatever you're working on, for their advice. You're not going to wait for someone to come rescue you. You're not going to wait for someone to communicate to you. You're driving the chariot, right? So if you've realized that you're the only person that can help you, you're either just going to move ahead without this person, or move ahead in the project without any advice, or you're going to reach out to whomever you need to and ask for what you need. That's another way and form of helping yourself, moving forward in this day. You may be literally moving, some of you, I think is what I was getting at with seeing the chariot card show up there pretty much twice in a row now. Some of you, I might be talking about one of the Pisces readings I did, but I might be talking about one of the other dailies that I just did. And guys, I already know this one isn't going to get posted until later in the day on the 4th afternoon, probably. And I just want to take a second to say my true intention is to post these as soon after midnight as I can, or as early in the day as I can. Now, granted, I'm not on the same time as a lot of you, obviously. I'm on New York time where I am. But nonetheless, I plan to post them as soon after midnight as I can. My intention is to post the monthly readings as early as I can, and I'm getting to the rest of those, and to post the daily readings as early as I can. It's just, for me, it's I was wanting to say this to you. For me, it's one of those things where I just have to get started, and like the timeline that I want that my work to be on, it just isn't on that timeline at first. But I just have to go ahead and get started, just put it into motion, and then slowly but surely I start to perfect the details about it. And for me in my life, timing is a detail. A very controlling one though, right? And I think that might be the case for some of you as well. That might be some reason why you're questioning your worth, some reason why you're needing some help. You may feel like your timeline is just off, and I went ahead and said that to you because that message was coming through to me earlier, sort of in a strange way, because it felt very much like it was something to divulge to the collective, and at the same time it was a message for me, or that used an example of my own life. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. For me, and a lot of you may be the same type of person and dealing with the same type of thing, where you just have to get started with whatever you're working on. You just have to move forward. Maybe it's not in the time or the way that you want it to be, but go ahead and let this activity, this action, this project, this passion project for a lot of you, go ahead and let it just start. Even if it's messy and even if it's late, just let it start, and then work out the details as you move forward. Certainly don't let the fact that you're not on this time schedule that someone else made for you or that you made for yourself make you feel like you're failing in any sort of way. Because if you didn't make that timeline for yourself, then that can be exactly why it's not working for you. It didn't come naturally to you. It's sort of forced from someone else to you, trying to put yourself on a schedule that doesn't naturally, genuinely belong to you. And if it did come from you, then change it. Then you're the boss, then you're in charge, and you can change it. You've got 88 showing up. Again, a repeat of a reading I've just recently done. 88 showing up again. I get the feeling that there's an important message coming through for someone or a group of someones that have connected with Lunartics Tarot, and I'm either not hitting the message on the head, or I am, and your energy is just continuing to come through in a really thick way. Not a bad thing at all. Or maybe, the collective in general, a lot of us just maybe continuing to go through similar things right now this Pisces season. Ultimately, this is all going to result by the end of the day or the end of the situation, however it applies to you most at this time, and you having a renewed sense of faith and belief in yourself. And so sometimes that's necessary, right? Questioning our own worth, questioning our own, the way in which we show affection to ourselves, whether or not we're worthy of a certain, like I said, goal, person, regardless of whether this communication comes back in, this questioning of self-worth is springing from you or from someone else. In any case, all is not what it seems at this time. There may be a malicious Pisces figure in your life who is the catalyst for you questioning your own worth, but it also may just be the message that all is not what it seems, and this is just a time of questioning yourself, and a time of questioning your abilities, what you're capable of, your skills, what you can earn for yourself, what type of love you deserve, what type of partner you deserve, what type of path you're worthy of walking, etc. And in the end, after taking somewhat of a break, it looks like, from whatever you're working on, in the end, this process of questioning really just leads you full circle back around to having this complete faith and belief in self. Maybe it is someone else that's making you question what you're worth. Maybe it's the fact that you love the work that you're doing, but you're not exactly earning as much as you feel that you're worth, that you're hoping you're worth. And so you go back to the drawing table and begin to ask the question, well, am I not making enough because I'm not providing enough? Am I not worthy of more? And as I said, you answer your own question, and the question, or the answer that you come up with rather, is, I'm just going to move forward, even if I have to fake it till I make it. And ultimately, oh wait, there it is. Yes, I do still have that faith and that belief in myself and in my abilities. You are gaining. You need to focus on where you are gaining. For some of you, what I mean to say is, you're not making, and even in the near future, as much as you think you're worth, as much as you've been hoping for. No, but you are gaining. Is there that for you to focus on? The reading is asking me to ask you, is there that element for you to focus on? No, I'm not making the total I planned on making every month, but I am making half of that, and that is twice as much as I was making last month. Is that true for you? Then that's where your focus and your gratitude needs to be at. Are you gaining literally resources, financial, material things at this time? Is that why the moon card is showing up? That all is not what it seems. You're focusing on the lack, but there is gain to focus on. If not, then at least you're gaining experience. At least you're gaining knowledge about what you want to do. Again, who you want to be with. Asking the question, what am I worth? Am I proving that to myself on a daily basis, that I believe that I'm worth what I think I am? I think a lot of you are in a space of learning how to manifest, and you're trying to navigate that balance between thought and action. Yes, a good amount of manifestation requires you to imagine what you want, fantasize about what you want, do meditations and affirmations regarding, again, what you think you're worth. But then a ton of action is also required. If it's an Aries, if you're dealing with an energy outside of yourself that's an Aries, and some of you, the person or people who are making you question your worth are just the people who would be paying you, right? Because I do see this, not working or not making as much in your work as you think you should, or as you're hoping for. But for some of you, it is a specific individual. And if it's an Aries, be advised that they are being somewhat of a quote-unquote trickster at this time. They're not being completely forthcoming. They're not being completely honest. They're using these illusions that we see. If they've not gotten in contact with you, then it's actually a good thing. It's actually a gain. That's actually the gain we're talking about for you in that case. It's actually a gift. They are not what they seem to be, and they are showing you one thing and they mean something else. They're doing this in front of you, but doing something else behind their back or yours where you can't see what they're doing. That's just specific for those of you who it is in Aries. I know I said Cancer. There's also Aquarian energy here in the outcome, but I don't think that that's really someone outside of yourself. It could be for some. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to hear how the reading does resonate, if it does. But if that Aquarian is referring to a person, I really believe it, with it being in the outcome, that it's just talking about you owning any Aquarian part of yourself. Loving that weird, strange, far out part of yourself. And it makes sense with Venus and the moon both being in Aquarius still. It's also, we're still in the pre-shadow period of Mercury retrograde still. Till tomorrow. Tomorrow, officially, Mercury is retrograde. And on the bottom of the deck, you have this opportunity to open up and share with others, in spite of the fact that we're talking about a time when communication may be particularly challenging, right? It may not be with multiple people. For some of you, it's just for one person, because some of you do feel like you're going through a loss. As I said, if it's an Aries, it's actually a gain. If it's any type of manipulator, trickster, any sign, anybody who's made you question your own worth, it is actually a gain, and that doesn't change the fact that the relationship or the connection may still need to be mourned. Whatever you're mourning, whether it's a person or otherwise, like I said, some of you are just questioning your self-worth in general. There is this call for you to communicate it openly with someone who you can trust, someone who you love, who loves you, someone that you can share that mourning with, just to get it out, because you have plans, I'm seeing also, that need to be made. You have this confident, youthful energy to move forward, and that doesn't mean that you're not still human. That doesn't mean that certain things, certain people, or whatever kind of losses, material, emotional, or otherwise, there aren't certain losses that will still need to be mourned, dealt with, taken into account. Nonetheless, ultimately and simply put, you need to allow the precise and impartial truth to cut away the untrue. Stop wasting your time and energy on people or things that are not part of the life you want to lead, that do not help you be who you want to be. And it may be burdensome at first to accept that this person hasn't been honest, this person hasn't been forthright, this person has been manipulating me mentally, emotionally, or tricking me in some other way. The progress was beautiful at first, but now they're either not reaching out, or I can tell they're lying. If it's a person, the message is different for some. You have to allow that to be cut away. I think it's both. For some of you, this is mainly about a person. For some of you, it's mainly about your work. But for most of you, I think it's actually both. I think it's how someone is making you question your own self-worth, and how that is then directly affecting the work you're trying to do. And at the same time, it's the work you're trying to do, that focus, even though it's not making you as much as you want it to at this time. It's that brings you back to having faith in yourself. It's that makes you say, I'm going to keep hitting the gas pedal anyway, even though this person is making me question myself. And it's that brings the message of allow the precise and impartial truth to cut away the untrue. Which is it that's holding you down, dragging you down, putting you down, slowing your progress? Which is it that's really sucking your energy out of you? Is it continuing to work towards something that is paying but maybe not enough yet? Or is it this person or these people, this energy outside of yourself, who's telling you that you're not doing it quite right, criticizing your method in some way, or telling you it's taking too long for the gains, the rewards to come in, right? You may be dealing with a Libra too. I see Cancer, I see Aries, and like I said, I think the Aquarian would just be within your own chart probably. But I do see this Libra here, that honestly both the air energies here, the Aqua and the Libra, just seem to be more representing what the card itself does than the sign, and they feel like they would just be talking about energy within you, if anything. But I do see the losses. I see the great change. There's 2 5s, 2 8s. 88 may be particularly significant, 55. But we're talking about change and prosperity. And I think especially in this reading, the changes, or specifically large change, that leads to your prosperity. And yes, completing this, letting go of this person or this belief. You're either letting go of a person who inspires this belief, or just the question of your self-worth in general. Whatever makes you question it. Besting that person, or besting that belief, it is burdensome. It's not as painful as the 10 of Swords ending, but a cycle closing with the 10 of Wands is sort of that feeling of like, am I going to make it? Am I going to complete this? And you are. You are done waiting on anyone else. You are charging forward, even if you have to fake it till you make it. You see what the precise and impartial truth shows you, who is being supportive, who's being fair and just in your life, and what energies, even if it's a who, needs to be cut out. You're remaining focused. And like I said, rejuvenating that belief and faith in your own self, your own abilities. It's just a tough completion. It's a cycle completing, like, wait, what, am I doing this? Am I going to make it? I don't know. I'm just going to keep trying and we'll see. And you do. The completion is here successfully. Your at least potential and ability to complete this in yes, as I said, a burdensome way. Yeah, it's not easy, but your potential and ability to is obviously present. You would not be advised to go ahead and complete that cycle, even though it's a burden, if you couldn't. And for a lot of you, since it's Pisces season and you have the moon reversed, that push forward is, as I said, a question of, can I do this? I don't know. I'm just going to try and see what happens. But it's also a question of, what is going on? What is real? Who around me is real? Do I really want to do this? Am I good at it? And again, a lot of you are going to come to the conclusion, especially whatever day this applies to you, you're going to come to the conclusion of, I don't know the answer to any of these questions. I don't know what's going on and who's real, but I'm just going to keep pushing, keep focusing, keep trying, and we'll see what falls out. And what falls out is you being in awe of your own will to push forward. You surprising the hell out of yourself. Even if nothing else, it'll be just, if nothing else, and I think for a lot of you it's a lot more than this, but if nothing else, it's just that feeling of, wow, I didn't let that get me down. I didn't let that criticism stop me. I didn't let that obstacle stop me. I didn't let that relationship ending, maybe for some of you, stop me or hold me back. I kept going. I did it. Even if, regardless of what the specific goal is, what your specific money that you want to make, the total is, or whatever, just the fact that you kept pushing and that you kept going just because you believe in yourself is going to wow you. And that in and of itself is going to renew and rejuvenate your belief in your own abilities to do this kind of work, to do this. For some of you, the work I'm talking about is just, self-development work, working on your own character, your own personality, your own, or it's a specific goal related to, as I said, your monetary income for some of you. But again, keep in mind that you may want to, like I said, share openly with someone who you can trust about whatever it is that you're mourning, about whomever it is that has recently been sort of caught in your life because they've betrayed you. And if things need to fall apart, there's this message here of do let them fall apart. That's a repeated message from a recent reading as well. But yeah, overall, you're just, I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you. Under this, at the time of this Aqua moon, while Venus is in Aqua, you're really, as I said, again, coming full circle to this belief in yourself, to knowing that you can rejuvenate your energy in whichever area you're wanting to. You can rely on yourself to complete that which you dedicate yourself to. You're going to be just so satisfied and fulfilled with your own will to push forward when this is all said and done. So congratulations about that, and good luck with it all. If you would like a private reading, if you need a private reading from me, just scroll down to the description box below. All of the information and links can be found there. Thank you so much for supporting LunarticksTarot in all the ways that all of you do. I so appreciate it. I do hope that you make wise choices for yourselves moving forward. Don't allow any of this to make you feel determined or boxed in. This is just a glance of the path you're on now, and it's always up to you. I love you, and I will post another tarot fix for you very soon.